Court Reporter with Stovall and Associates.
Hello and welcome back to Stovall and Associates. I'm here with Eric Murphy, running for Nye County Sheriff. We've touched a lot of stuff, but can you tell me a little bit about the election process? I mean, when can you vote? When all that goodies?
The way they're going to do it is there's a primary and a general. The primary election is June 10th, and they usually run it from like 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. on that day, and then the people that vote have their responsibilities to go to their precincts and all that, their designated precinct voting area. And then after the primaries, whichever final two, the highest two vote getters, they then go to the general. And from June 10th till November, the first Tuesday in November, that's when they go ahead and campaign and do all that, just the two of them.
Just the two of them?
Yes.
So basically, just recap, January 5th, you can go vote for one of 10 people.
On June 10th.
June 10th, one of 10 people, and then if the top two from there will move on and the other 8 will drop off.
Correct.
Okay,
Correct.
Interesting. So really, if you make the top 2, that's when your campaigning is really going to start.
Yeah, that's when it really has to start, because now you're just, like you said, you're just trying to get your name out there over 10 people.
Right.
And then when it comes down to the final 2, then it's just between the two of you and...
Get into politics.
Right, and you've got to cover the entire county.
Oh, that's right. I keep thinking Prompt, but
Right?
it's not.
You have to cover the
Nye
entire
County,
county.
because they all get a vote.
They all get a vote. You get even the small towns.
That's actually another good point that you just brought up to me. So if you're the Nye County Sheriffs, even though you're here in Prompt, the deputies in Beatty and Amargosa and Tonopah, you're in charge of those deputies as well.
Correct.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
And then you have deputies even further. You have Smoky Valley, Gabbs. Those are all in Nye County too. So.
Really.
Yep.
So you got that's a big.
It's a huge
area to control.
Yes.
So. And so do they have, I don't know what the right word would be, but like an assistant sheriff or a manager for those towns?
They do. They have what they call, for us, is an area commander.
An area commander,
They have an area commander for Beatty and an area commander for Tonopah, which is, they're responsible also for the outlying areas, like the area commander in Beatty's responsible for Beatty and Amargosa.
Okay.
And then the area commander for Tonopah is responsible for Tonopah, Gabbs, Smoky Valley, all those areas on the outside that are in Nye County.
That's interesting. I never put together that the Nye County Sheriff is Nye County.
Correct.
It's definitely a big area.
It is.
So you go into the generals in November and you get the winning vote. When do you take office?
The way they usually do it is right in the 1st of January.
Okay, so 1st of January, the current sheriff would move out, you would move in.
Correct.
Interesting. I know one of the hot buttons for everybody right now is the Second Amendment.
Correct.
And do you want to give a comment on where you stand on the Second Amendment?
My stance on the Second Amendment, and it's also on my website, says that my belief is that everybody, as long as you're not a felon, you are able to operate a firearm, and you have no medical disabilities that stop you from operating a firearm, then you should have the right to carry a firearm and have the ability to get a CCW card if that's what you wish to do.
Now, right now, you can get a CCW, which is concealed weapons.
Concealed carry weapons. Carry concealed weapons permit.
Okay, CCW.
Correct.
Gotcha. Now, which means you could put a weapon under your jacket or whatever.
Right.
Because you're permitted.
Right.
You've went through the practice, the training, blah blah. Now, but anybody can carry, assuming they're not a felon, or can carry one on the outside. Is that correct?
Correct. As long as it's open on your person, it's not considered concealed.
Concealed.
So if you're carrying a firearm on your hip, as long as it's not concealed, you're able to open carry in Nye County.
Because as a realtor, I meet a lot of people that come into our town and they're like, oh my God, that guy's carrying a gun.
Right.
For us, it's pretty normal.
Right.
So.
Because what a lot of people do is, I'm sorry, not people, but a lot of communities do, like the bigger communities, they'll have an ordinance, even though the state of Nevada is an open carry state, they have an ordinance that you have to follow certain requirements, like you have to have a firearms card or something like that.
Gotcha.
Or they'll have an ordinance that institutes that you have to follow certain requirements.
Like you said, it's definitely a hot topic. There's the people that want the Second Amendment, and then there's the people that don't.
Correct.
Do you see the CCW going away eventually, or do you think it's gonna stay available?
I think it'll be around. I think it's a huge tool in itself that, for us, once you get a CCW, we're then informed that you have that CCW. So
okay.
If they do traffic stops on people and stuff, you're then informed that they're in the database with that permit. So it also helps you on a car stop to know that you're dealing with a person that might
have a weapon.
Right, and a lot of people here are very, especially in this community, I've noticed that a lot of people here are very responsible. And if I do a traffic stop on them, I've had them say, I have an open gun on my hip, just so you know. And it's nice to know those things because you don't want to find that out later.
Absolutely. Give the officer
and like I said,
surprised.
People work very hard to make sure they're responsible firearm carriers,
Right. That's great information. Now, what if you go to, I've always wondered this because if you go to Knight County to Clark County and you have that CCW, are you covered or are you not?
It's a state of Nevada.
It is a state of Nevada. So if you had that CCW, you could carry your weapon in Vegas and be okay.
It's a state of Nevada.
That's wonderful. Well, real quick, we're actually out of time already, but I want to throw out your website real quick. I believe it should be on the screen there. Yep, we got www.ericmurphyforsheriff.com, and on your website has contact information for you as well.
Correct, it does.
To get a hold of you.
It does.
Well, I wish you the best of luck in the primaries and hope to see you in the general.
I appreciate it, Michael.
Well, thank you so much for being on my show.
Thank you.
We'll see you guys next week on Court Reporter, same place.
Court Reporter with Stovall and Associates.